Hello everyone, this is James Wong from the Microsol Resources Tech Team presenting Revit Server 2013. We all know we can collaborate within the local area network, but today we want to demonstrate how you can do Revit model collaboration across a WAN, a wide area network, across multiple geographically dispersed locations. We've got a few items on the agenda today. First, we're going to start with some enhancements to Revit Server 2013 and how it improves upon 2012. We'll also introduce some concepts like different roles. 2013 has the host, the accelerator, and the admin role, and you need to decide how these roles are configured on the network. Lastly, we're going to go through a demo, setting it up and configuring a Revit server on my virtual machine, as well as connecting Revit Architecture 2012 to my Revit server. Environment variables and the rsn.ini file determines server roles, so we need to take a minute to explain that. So in 2012 and 2011, you only can have one host on the network. For 2013, this changes and you're now able to have multiple hosts. There's also support for virtualization technologies like Hyper-V, along with improved file lock management. For those of you using Vault Collaboration AEC, there's significant workflow improvements, so you want to check that out as well. The host is what is previously known as the central Revit server. It is where all the Revit models will reside on your network. The accelerator is responsible for pushing and pulling changes from the host and pushing it to your workstation. The admin portion is the web console used for tracking changes and model management. For 2013, go to your HTTP server name /Revit Server Admin 2013 and make sure all your prerequisites are installed, including Silverlight. Since Revit Server 2013 lets you have multiple hosts on a network, does having multiple Revit server hosts equate to better performance? Well, the answer? It depends. Since the host will keep the actual models, there will be greater need for resources. There will be more disk I/O since the accelerators will get the changes from the host. Data recovery is also more complicated since you will have more central models to work with. If you run into issues with the models on the server, changes will have to be resynced with the disconnected servers. Lastly, and probably most important, is user error. You want to prevent people from forgetting which host they're saving the Revit models. Lastly, keeping those points in mind, BIM managers will have to work with IT to decide how to implement Revit Server 2013. So how are changes sent to Revit servers? When a user has a model open in Revit and clicks on the Reload Latest, the most current information is pulled from the accelerator, which has the local cache of the model. The accelerator in turn syncs with the host. The typical heartbeat is 2 minutes, and you can verify that by checking the logs. So when the user syncs with Central, Revit does a comparison with the accelerator and pushes the changes onto the accelerator. The accelerator then syncs with the host through the WAN, making sure that all hosts in the geographically dispersed environment gets the latest updates. So we all know IT issues happen all the time. So what happens when the accelerators are disconnected? Because there are references to the host in the workstation, Revit Architecture will bypass the accelerator, passing information through the internet to reach the Revit server host. As long as there is internet connection, you can be sure that users will have the latest Revit model. So right now I'm going to install the prerequisites for Revit Server 2013. They're the same for 2012 and 2011, so just make sure you check out the Autodesk wiki pages. I'm going through this rather quick and just making sure the ASP and the IIS scripting tools. Click Next and double check everything's selected and click Next again. And it's pretty quick and simple. Just click Close. So now I'm just going to install Revit Server from the Autodesk media, from the shared folders, Autodesk, Revit Architecture, setup.exe, UAC control, and click Yes. And let's give it a couple of seconds. You should see a button on the lower left. Here we go. Install tools and utilities. Let's go ahead and click Accept and click Next and uncheck Network, License, CAD Manager, and Software Development and click Revit Server. Drop that down. And I'm going to select Host and Admin. There's some options here. We'll discuss it later. And pull that back up and install. And we're pretty much set. The installation is pretty quick. Sometimes it takes a couple of minutes depending on your workstation. This is a virtual machine, so it should be pretty quick myself. Give me 1 second over here. Alright, perfect. Click on Finish and you should be set. Let's go ahead and close out of this. Now I'm going to jump into my workstation. This is Revit Architecture 2013. Click on Collaborate and Synchronize and Connect. You can see here that I'm connected to main 2. That's my Revit Server accelerator. That's grayed out since I'm already connected. Click Close. I'm just going to open a basic sample project and enable it for Revit Server. So in order to enable it, we have to go to Collaborate tab, go to Work Sets, and I'm just going to click on a default, click OK. Give it a couple of seconds, and the default work set names, I'm the owner, click OK for that. And you're pretty much good to go here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to open a floor plan, and I'm going to make one change. I'm just going to move this little bed here, and I want to make this change and save it to my Revit server. So I'm going to save as. And scroll down on the left hand side for Revit Server, and you see that there's nothing here. In order to get the Revit servers to actually show up, you have to do something with the rsn.ini file. So you browse into your C drive on the workstation, go into Program Data, go into Autodesk, go into Revit Server 2013 config, and you want to make a new text document. Call it rsn.ini, so you eliminate the txt extension. And this is just a basic text file, and the first entry I'm going to have in this text file is my server name. So I'm going to click on there and write main2, click save, and exit. So I'm going to go back to my Revit here, over here, and I'm going to do save as. Left hand side again, go into Revit Server, and you can see that main2 does exist. So I'm going to save it into main2, which is the host. And before we save, I'm just going to put my name in the back so we know what files we're messing with. And it's going to save. So before we move on, I actually want to make another change, and this change I'm going to make to, let's see, bedroom 2. And we're going to do the same thing and move the bed. Alright, and let's go back and synchronize now. And this will write the changes to my Revit server. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start Revit Server, the web console. So in mine, since my server is called main2, so it's just main2/Revit Server Admin 2013. There is nothing here as well, so we have to do the same process and make the rsn.ini file. So on the server, go to C, Program Data, Autodesk, Revit Server 2013, config, make a new file. Oops, not new folder. You want to make a new file. Here we go. Text document, eliminate that, rsn.ini, and it's just main2 as well. Close out of that, and save, close out of that guy as well, and hit a refresh. You can see that main2 is there, as well as the Revit file that I was changing. The first change was the bed number 1, the second change was bed number 2. So you can see that these changes were written to the Revit server. Go ahead and modify the RSN file. In case you have multiple hosts you want to connect to, like main3, main4, you just add the host to the rsn.ini file. If you refresh, you'll see that it's going to try to connect to all of them, but I don't have a main3 and 4, so it's going to time out and have an X mark. And right there on the left. Servers that are connected is there, servers that disconnected is unavailable. And you also see that the roles that main2 plays, host, accelerator, and admin. Alright, so if you want on the workstation to create connections to different hosts, you can make the same connections. Main2, main3, main4, etc., etc., etc. And close out of that guy. On the workstation, you want to save to different hosts. You go ahead and you see 2, 3, and 4. Since I don't have a 3 and 4, if you click on it, it's going to tell you that it's not found after being timed out, of course. That's okay. I don't have number 4. It's fine. So let's take a minute and discuss roles on 2013. How do you configure roles after or post installation? Roles are actually modified through environment variables. If you go to System Properties, Environment Variables, you'll see that you have a rs roles 2013 system variable. You can actually edit this, as I do over here, and you want to remove the admin portion, just delete it and click OK, click OK, click OK. Since it's a system variable, you have to reboot the system. Environment variables are also used on the workstation. On the workstation over here, you can see environment variables. It's going to main2 as the RS accelerator. If you need to change it, all you have to do is click on edit. You can use group policy to modify these if you want. If you would prefer to have them for system variables, you can do it also through group policy. Press OK, OK, and close out of that, and we're good. So I hope everybody found this video helpful. Be sure to check out my blog and YouTube channel for other tips and tricks. Until next time, this is Jay Wong from the Microsol Resources Tech Team, signing out.